Save the forests by making games. Games for Forests Jam. From March 6th to April 6th, make a game without coding, even with your phone, and win prizes.
What is happening, Hypesters? How's everybody doing? My camera's over there now. I'm gonna move this microphone a little bit closer so I don't drift out, hopefully. How's everybody doing today? Welcome back to the HypeHype Live. It is Thursday. I'm Shogun. It's 2 p.m. here in Helsinki, Finland. I am at the offices of HypeHype, where we make HypeHype. What's going on, everybody? Let's see. I see. Okay. I should have moved this monitor that has my chats on it. It's a little off to the side here, but that's okay. I see Player Haunts. What's going on? I see Gab Gab and Avin in the TikTok chat. Hope you guys are having an awesome Thursday. Yelp in the house. And today on the stream, we are going to be working on a build for the games for Forests Jam. I got something started over the last weekend because last week on this stream I was supposed to start something, but I ended up helping you guys out for the whole stream, which is A-okay. In fact, before I jump into my build, I would like to open the floor to questions. Does anybody need some help in the HypeHype editor? I am here to help you. If not, I'm going to jump into my build and work on that. But always helping you guys takes precedence over creating my own games. Liam Eggman, welcome to the stream. Thanks for coming by. Good to see you. All right. And at least so far, I'm not seeing any questions, so I am going to go ahead and jump into my own build. And I think, let me check actually what version of the app that I am using is. Yes, it's a newer one. So you guys are going to get, this wasn't really planned, but you're going to get a little bit of a preview of the next update because I accidentally started this game in a newer version of the app. And that means I can't edit it anymore in the live version of the app that you guys are all using. So I have to use a newer, still in development version of the app. So things you see today while I'm working might not be 100% final. We might run into some issues because obviously this build's not ready to be released yet, or we would have released it. So I'm going to just go right into the hype here, and let's go to the gameplay so you guys can see what I am looking at. And I'll just give you a little preview of what I've got so far. So at the moment, I just have a guy here that can move around and he can jump. He has no other abilities yet. And I've started to kind of build out a world for us. And the idea of this game is this little guy that you control, he's just going to go around and pick up garbage in the woods. This is based on a guy that I actually follow on TikTok. I believe his account name is Earthdrop. His real name is Josh. He's a really cool dude that just goes out into the woods and picks up garbage for his hobby. And obviously he posts videos of that on TikTok, and I watch them along with like a million other people. Because for some reason, it's really interesting to just watch a guy like dig some old tires or like an old bike out of a pond in the middle of the woods. So that's what my game is going to be. And this is where I am at with the game right now. I just have the guy can walk around. I've started to build my environment here. I'm definitely going to... definitely have a lot more of that to work on. If we go into the editor here, we can see behind this, there's nothing. I am going to build some stuff there, but it's going to all be unpassable, unaccessible area. The main play area is going to be this way. Oh, man. Hiccups. And you can see this goes pretty far back. I want it to be a fairly large world. And one thing that I did here is the scale of this is actually pretty small. So this guy, I believe he's around... Well, let's just go. We can go and take a look at exactly the size of our playable character here. So yeah, he's a little bit less than like 40%, about 37% the normal scale of the player model. And the reason I did that is to kind of get around the pretty short view distance that we have currently in HypeHype. And I mentioned this last week. It's worth mentioning again that will be improving in the future. In fact, a lot of the things related to the looks of hypes and basically anything related to rendering is going to be improved. But like for the scale setting, you can kind of get an idea here that he's scaled down pretty small because this is supposed to be a grass tile set here. And these blades of grass are like more than half the height of my guy. But you can also see that I can see all the way into the distance, and only at the very end of our view distance, I think you would be able to see a little bit more on a taller phone. But the fog is just starting to creep in there. It's not like we have like a finite view there. Like it might end up that way on a, like I mentioned, like on a wider screen. Why does the water look polluted? This is actually meant to be the riverbed. There's no water in here yet. It's also difficult to get out of there. He's got it. He's got it. There he goes. Well, I think I'm going to sneeze. No. No sneeze. Okay, it fooled me. I really felt the tickle of a sneeze in my nose. But yeah, so there's no water here yet, and the reason for that is I'm really hoping I wanted to do the water with the kind of hack that we have of using UI elements to create like water, right? And the way that I could do that, just as an example, is I would bring in a text node. The text would be, I should have one here already. Yeah, we want this square, and then we change that color to this 50% blue. We make this as large as it can go, 3D, not always facing. And we rotate it once this way, but obviously like this is way too small, right? And we can kind of get around that if I throw just an object in here. So we get like my favorite reference object is the small ball. I use this all the time for this type of stuff. And then we glue this, glue to our reference object. And now when we scale that guy up, we can also scale up the thing that is glued to it. And actually, this was not working a few builds ago, but it is working now. The scale has been increased. So look how big we can go here. It's so big. But it seems to be causing some render issues with that. Oh, it's pushing it underground. That's why. So the one thing I like to do here is we want to make sure that these are aligned with each other, so scaling it up doesn't affect the position of the water. So let's go in the snapping. Let's snap to grid. We snap that to the grid, and then we snap this to the same grid. Wait, why are these snapping to two different grids? There we go. Okay, so now those are on the same plane. And I can go ahead and I can do what I couldn't do before because previously, oh, but now I need to be able to select this ball and not the text node. There we go. No, it's still the text node. Okay. So we're just going to do it this way. Scale this up nice and big. We go in here. We make this invisible. Now we can bring this back down. And we'll turn off our snapping so we can get that into the water there. And there we go. So now we have kind of some transparent water there. We can see that it's kind of up to my waist. We can run around, and that way we'll be able to pick garbage out of the river as well. But like you can see there, if we go too far away from the text node, it stops the spawn. So what I'm actually planning on doing, because this is a little bit of a hacky solution, probably for now, I'm going to just put solid object in there that has no physics as the water. You know, so right now these are just squares. If I duplicate one of these, I take away its physical properties, so it has no physics, and then I make it just like a blue. You know, so this will be my temporary water, and then probably later this year when we have like the ability to do different types of materials, then I can come in and I can fix this with something that is transparent or has some transparency to it. But yeah, that text node thing is a really nice trick, and definitely now that we can spawn, or now that we can scale a lot bigger, or at least you will be able to with the next update. It's pretty useful the way you can use it, but you know, like you saw there's some limitations. Most notably, if the actual text node goes too far out of the camera view, it stops rendering the text. So there's that to kind of keep in mind. But yeah, so I'm doing this path, but what I'm going to do today, as long as there's no questions, is I'm going to start to try and work out some of the logic of this, because I think just watching me build out this environment is not the most exciting thing to do. So let's build some logic stuff. And what we're going to do is my idea for the gameplay is basically you go around collecting the trash, right? And then after you've collected a certain amount of trash, you have like a trash bag that's full of trash, and then you can leave that trash bag, right? And then you just go and collect more trash. And then once you've gone around and you've filled up many trash bags of trash, you can go back and collect up all of those trash bags and take them back to your truck. And of course, there will be different sizes of garbage. Like some stuff might be too big to fit in a trash bag. You know, like for example, an abandoned bike. Somebody throws in the river. You pull a bike out of the river. It's too big. You got to just carry it back to the van, right? You can't throw it into a trash bag. And even when you're collecting up trash bags, I think I'm going to limit the number of bags you can carry at one time. So maybe you can carry like 4 trash bags back to the van at any given time. Hey, take it easy, Liam. Have a good one. Yeah, BT, that's a workaround that might work. I think in my case, it's going to be a little bit of a problem because I have elevation changes here. You can see Like we have step ups here, and the step ups go in the river as well. So there's actually going to be on these step ups, there's going to be probably like a little waterfall effect going on there. But you wouldn't be able to, for example, once you move to the step up, it would have to be a different plane that ends at the end of the step. When did this start? The stream just started about 15 minutes ago. I started this build last weekend, but honestly, I haven't spent a ton of time on it yet. And most of that, as you can see, has just been building out the level. I wanted to build out some level before I started messing with the logic so I could actually place things and see how it works. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to have, I think it's going to be an add-on for the garbage collectibles so that I can have many different types of garbage, and the different types of garbage can be given a different value, right? And that determines how much space it takes up in the garbage bag, or if it's too big to fit in a garbage bag at all. So I have a few different systems I need to try and create. I'm probably not going to do them all today, but I'm going to try and do as many as I can today. Lost my train of thought. Anyway, so system one is collectible garbage. That's easy enough. But technically, I could just add a collectible pre-made from the asset library and tweak it just a little bit, and it would work fine. And then I need the system that tracks how much garbage you have currently collected into your bag and spits out a full garbage bag once your garbage bag is full. So that's kind of two systems, right? There's a system that tracks how much garbage you've collected, and then there's the system that spits out a bag after you've reached a certain amount. There also needs to be a second collection system for collecting the larger pieces of trash, which is either the garbage bags, or I'm going to have larger items strewn about, furniture, abandoned bikes, I've mentioned a few times, tires, stuff like that. And the larger stuff is not going to fit in a garbage bag, right? You're going to have to just take it back to the truck right away, or leave it somewhere and come and collect it and take it back. So then we also need a system that decides what we're carrying, right? Are we carrying garbage bags? Are we picking up the garbage bag after we filled it, or are we going to leave it and fill up some more garbage bags before we head back to the van? So kind of quite a few systems I need to build here that all need to kind of interact with each other, but every single one is pretty basic. Yeah, PT, we're definitely going to be able to get more material types on objects in the future, and hopefully not like the far future. Like that might be something that we see this year. I can't really put a time on it because I don't know. But it's definitely something that the guys are working really hard on. Okay. So let's start with the most basic thing. We're going to have the garbage pre-made. And I think I'm going to come back here to build all of my logic stuff. We're just going to build it kind of out of the gameplay area. So we're going to start with, we're going to need a reference object. There you go. That's my homie. My favorite reference object is the small ball. Okay. It's nice on the grid there. So this is going to be, it's going to need to have physics. It'll be unmovable. It will be a sensor. We're going to need a collision trigger in there. Collision trigger is looking for the player, so that's green. We're going to need a number node. This is going to be the value of the garbage value, right? That's how much space it takes up in the garbage bag. We're going to need a broadcaster that sends that value. This is going to be... Wow, we have a lot of signals in here already. I'm not using any of these. We're going to call it litter collect. All right. And so collision trigger, collision trigger on start is going to execute the number. And I think probably for now, I think I'm putting it in the nice to have bucket, is that there's an actual animation of like when you collect the garbage, it kind of like lifts up and goes into your bag. But this is V1, so I'm not really going to worry about that for right now. We're just going to say when you collect it, it's just going to destroy itself. And the target is going to be our reference object there. Whoops. Target. There we go. And then this is going to output to execute with data. Yes. Default value there is 1. That's cool. But now that we have all of these, let's add this to the builder panel. And we're going to call it litter. We don't need that anymore. We do need this. We're going to go to our container here. First of all, it's not going to be a reusable. It's going to be an add-on. And then in advanced, we want inputs, and this is a number input, and it is litter. Let's call it size. That's fine. And so then our litter size is there. That's going to go to the output value set, pass its input value. Yes, not execute. There we go. And so what we should have there now is, well, actually, I'm just going to set up one thing here so that we can test this. Let's just have a text node. Text node here. Oops, I don't want that in the container. And let's also have just a broadcast listener. This is listening for litter collect. And the value pass, and we're going to say add. All right, and then I'm just going to put this center so we can see that. And so then we go over here, we get a test piece of litter. So let's go to our asset library, and let's say, do we have like a wrapper? Chocolate in a wrapper. All right, somebody just threw away their chocolate bar. We actually want to turn off that. Put this down. Oh, way down there. It was really high up in the sky. There we go. Now it's on the ground. All right. And from there, we're going to go to our add-ons. We're going to add, oh no, Crashify. All right, let's go back here for a moment while I, first I'll send this crash report. I was applying an add-on in the editor. Boom, submit, reopen this. Now we go back, drafts, drag here. Let's load in the editor. Let's load the autosave. And just before I even put the screen back, I'm going to see if this is going to... Yeah, okay. That's going to continue to be a problem. So I might have to work on something else for now. Well, this would actually be a great time. If anybody has any questions, you need any help, this would be an excellent time for me to roll back to an older build and maybe help you guys out a little bit, since obviously what I want to work on today and the current build of the game are not getting along too well. One thing I am going to try and do here is revert to a little bit of an older build and see if I can find one where I can still work on this hype, but not have that add-on issue. Is there a way to find the nearest object with a chosen color object group to the player, not using the scaling circle with collision? I think probably right now the answer is no. You're going to have to use that scaling object collision trick. Think a little bit. Is anybody in chat as well? I know we got some smart friends hanging out in the chat. Can anybody think of a way that you might be able to do that? Find the nearest object from a specific color group, object group, without using the scaling circle and collision method.
Only one pressing more.
Let's try this one more time. Edits. Oh, no. Nope. Okay. Yeah, well, that's sad. All right, so I'm going to now kill this, and I'm going to revert to the live build, and which I think is this one. There we go. Potato Chan says with the object observer, and then you get the distance for each object in that color to the player. But that does sound like it would be a little complex to build. I think the one thing that we've kind of talked about a bit, and I don't know where it is as far as the priorities of things that we're working on. I think it might not be super close to the top. But essentially a raycaster that is not always just a single line, you know, like a raycaster that you could, for example, send out in a circle, in a sphere, in a cone. I know this is something that we've talked about, and I know us creators have asked for it before, and it's certainly on the list of features that we would like to create, tools that we would like to have. But I think at the moment there's not somebody actively working on that tool.
Someone joined.
Okay, so now this is, what do we got here? We're like halfway through the stream, and this is now 100% question time. So if you have questions about the editor, you need some help in some builds that you're working on, you want to know how to do something, like maybe how to find the closest object from a chosen color group. Unfortunately, that seems like a pretty complicated one, and it seems like the easiest solution, which is not necessarily a super performance-friendly solution, but it's the easiest solution we have right now, is going to be using an invisible object to create an area trigger that originates from your player character. And I guess at least it sounds to me like you maybe know how to do that already, since you don't want to do it that way. Will there be a feature that allows you to make custom animations? That's another one. I can't put any sort of time frame on it, but it is certainly something we've talked about. I mean, I think that our ultimate goal is to, let you be able to customize stuff as much as you want. So that would mean creating your own 3D models, creating your own animations, creating your own sounds, your own textures, all that stuff. Eventually, we hope to have in the app, but I can't put any sort of time frame on that stuff. There's a long road ahead of us. A lot of things that we would like to do with this app. So some things are going to come sooner. A lot of things are going to come later. And it really comes down to what at any given moment is seen as like kind of high priority. And at least right now, the high priority stuff is one, just getting the app kind of more stable. I think if you've been using it a lot, there's crash issues sometimes. And I think one of the big things we're focusing on right now is actually improving the experience for players. So not just thinking about this from the perspective of creators, which is really kind of where we've been thinking about it so far since kind of the start of development. It's been really a lot of thought on like how is this going to work for creators, but now we're really kind of shifting that focus a little bit. For the foreseeable future to focus on improving the experience for players so that we can get more people in here playing all of your wonderful creations. Yeah, I mean, obviously with the ability to do really custom stuff, to basically add your own assets, there's going to be obviously some big moderation considerations that go into that as well, because we can't just let kind of people freely do whatever they want, obviously. So that's another reason why that stuff probably isn't going to come super fast, because it's not just the ability to add your own stuff. It's then our ability to make sure people are using that respectfully and not maliciously. Hey, Wayward in the house. What's going on, my man? Exactly. A lot of kids use our app, and we want to make this as safe a place as possible for kids to hang out. Okay, and you guys have been like actually just staring at my face for a while here. But now that we have had a few more people rolling in, I am going to again put a call out for any questions. You need some help in the editor. The remainder of the stream is going to be me helping you as best I can. If you weren't here for the first half of the stream, I was working on my own build for the Games for Forest Jam. But through my own error, I can only work on it in newer builds of the app, and the current builds of the app are not super stable. And I ran into a crash issue that meant that I could not continue working on that at the moment without it being just kind of like really obnoxious to watch, because I'd be crashing the app all the time. So we have shift gears to me building, to me helping you build. That was supposed to be half of the content for today anyway. Let's see. Do I have anything else? Do I have anything I could work on that's not necessarily related to the jam? I have this one. This is my monster truck that I made. My son has been really into monster trucks lately, so I wanted to make him a monster truck game. And this I actually built a really long time ago. I spent a bunch of time creating this monster truck, which has, you know, it can only go on a straight line here. It's not like fully controllable, but it has kind of the shocks of a monster truck, at least to some degree. It has brakes, gas. So I could build like a course for this. So many unlisted hypes. Yeah. Let's see what I've got in here. So I got, oh, there's some super secret stuff that's coming later. I have a lot of like levels here. I have a lot of stuff here that I made as demos. You know, stuff that I didn't necessarily want to put on my profile because it's not finished, but I wanted to share so that other people could look at it. A lot of playlist levels. Some, yeah, stuff like that. Drafts. A lot of drafts as well. I do have this updated red light, green light I've been working on. I haven't worked on this in a while either. My problem with these is I do a bunch of work on something, and then I'll go work on something else, and then it's really hard to pick back up again because I don't remember exactly what I was working on. You know, like this one. I did this on stream probably like a year ago. What does this say? September 22, I guess, was the last time I worked on it. Maybe? Or was that when it was made? I don't know. But, like, this has so much logic stuff going on. And I don't know. I don't know exactly how it works. It's been so long since I worked on it. And I don't know what works and what doesn't. So now I'm in a situation where, like, to finish this hype, which is pretty close to done, I have to spend a whole bunch of time testing it just to figure out what's working and what's not working. Super secret stuff. Always. No, it wasn't. It actually wasn't that secret, but. So what else? What else do I have in here? Yeah, then this really quickly, the drafts really quickly become garbage. Or just like super unfinished stuff. Why did that go that way? Anyway. Go back and pause to see. I don't know if you'll be able to tell what it was exactly. You'll know when it comes out though. If you go pause on that screen and study all my thumbnails, then you'll see something that you recognize in like a couple of months. I don't know when that's actually going to be coming out. All right, so let's go. And I have this one too. Same problem with this one. Like the logic in here is insane. It's like, look at my spaghetti everywhere. And all of this. And again, there's so much logic that this needs, and I don't know which parts are working and which parts aren't working. And then I don't know exactly how I built them either. So that's going to be fun to try and figure out. This one was pretty close. Can this be seen on the live? Yes, it can. So don't send me anything inappropriate because that would definitely reflect poorly on you. And I have full moderation abilities in this app. Oh, I know one thing that I haven't built into this is that simple ability to actually save your progress. There's supposed to be kind of like save points you can go to and save your progress. And that hasn't been built yet, which means I can't even test the rest of the save logic, which is basically what I need to do here still. Although some of these NPCs don't have dialogue trees yet either. So I'm not gonna subject you to that because that's gonna take me a while to figure out. I'm trying to see if I have something here I can work on. There was this one. Oh, this is technically done. I didn't never put it on my profile because I wasn't super happy with it. Hey, some people are joining in though. What's up? Hey. Oh. Ooh. Hey.
Only one pressing morph.
Well, what's that audio coming from? I don't know where that's even coming from. I'm super bummed. I wanted to work on this, but nope. Not allowed. So just mess with this one a little bit. Unless we're going to have some editor questions. We don't have a ton of time left in the stream now. I'm going to get rid of all this. I don't like the way these ramps are. And actually, to do this, I can use this... select similar, yeah, select them all, delete this one, select similar, there's only 2, delete, and I think that's everything. The whole thing was just made out of those 2 objects. Yeah, we got some road here, but that's fine. Let's go here. What do we have? Dirt. Dirt roads, tile sets. Oh, it's back there. That's why. Okay, that's pretty good size. Let's go paint. What do we got? Some brown. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I can see it only showed me I think the first one, Liam, and then it just continues to count. If we move this up, sure, why not? It's got to be unmovable. And let's actually go into editor settings, custom camera, see-through fog. There we go. That's a helpful one. And I want this to be on the, that's what I thought, Z0. Might as well even out all of these as well. Oops, not that one. We need that -0.5. we go. Let's paint this. Erase. Erase. Boop, boop, boop. Okay, so now, like, what kind of obstacles do we build for a monster truck? The stopping is really slow. Let's actually look at some of the mechanics behind this. So this is physical wheel, has its own material. Right on, PT. That's a good suggestion. That's definitely similar. I don't know, maybe same person was asking about a similar thing earlier, about finding a object group from a specific object group, the closest object. I could demo that if there's interest in seeing it. Like I mentioned, it's a little bit of a hacky solution, but I've even done it a few times, so I don't even need to build that from scratch. But I will, just so we can see it. Liam would like to make an ally. I think that's a little harder. It's pretty easy to make an NPC that will follow you. But if you want him to kind of like fight alongside you, that gets a little more complicated. Or, you know, whatever the gameplay is for your thing. Let's go here. Let's go create new. All right, logic. We'll get rid of this. I'm just going to make a pretty wide view of our area. Set the camera up there. And let's go here. So we want, what was it? The NPC target the closest enemy. Okay, so let's see. What do we have? Those are all characters. So I'm not even gonna worry about a character in this situation. So, okay, so we get some zombies here. That's fine. These are going to be our enemies. Zombie man. And then, okay, so this guy's all pre-mates. So we're going to duplicate a few of these. Maybe one a little bit closer. When we play, how are they arranged? Okay, that's fine. No, not thumbnail. I wanted to reset view. There we go. So let's bring this guy down into the area a little bit more. And so now we're going to have a basic NPC. Simple follower, simple friend, simple cat. Ping. Okay, I think probably the simple follower might have what we're looking for here. So let's look at the simple follower logic. We're going to need to go here, simple follower. Let's open this up. And let's see if I can make this work in 10 minutes. The clock is ticking. Okay, so first thing we're going to do from the simple follower is create the object that is going to expand so that we can find find other objects. And I'm going to use a sphere for that. Actually, a half sphere will be fine. In fact, even now I think we have like some circles, some flat disc type circles. It might be even a little bit better. Let's instead of sphere, let's go circle. Yeah, let's take this one, the circle. I'm going to rotate it. So then we're going to go, I'm just going to use a vector transform. I think I mentioned, snap to grid. So this is going to have, what color are these guys? They're red. Okay. So this is going to have unmovable object sensor. For now, I'm going to leave the visibility on so that we can see how it's working. But ultimately, we'll turn the visibility there off. We'll go collision trigger. The collision trigger is looking for red. And then I guess we're going to need a broadcaster. And this will be MPC target. And then probably in here we also want a destroyer because we don't want this to constantly stay there because we're going to be spawning a lot of these. So, collision trigger says on collision start, target, we want to send that as a target through the broadcaster. This vector transform, we want to scale. We're going to scale on the X. And actually, we're going to scale here because I rotated it. We're scaling on the X and the Y. We want it to scale pretty big. 0.5. We're doing a really quick and dirty version of this. So, and that's going to go right away on start. At the loop end, we're going to execute the destroyer. Boom. There we go. And this collision trigger is going to be disable after first. There we go. All right, so that should be the basic thing there. Let's add this to the builder panel. There it is. This is going to be enemy detect. Okay, we don't need that guy. We just need this up here. Yes. And so now in our simple follower logic here, we're going to add a spawner. There we go. The spawn at is going to be our reference object there. The object to spawn is going to be our enemy detect. And let's put like an interval in here. And we'll just say looping once a second, we're going to execute this. So once a second, the NPC is going to look for a new target. And so what we should see here now already, if I play this, is boom, boom, boom. Okay, so it doesn't like the direction there. So let's grab this, turn it that way. No. Use spawn point. Oh, we want to use. We don't want to use spawn point rotation. I think is the problem there. Yes, there we go. So you can see that big circle shooting out once a second, right? And so now all we need, the circle should already be going. So we can go in here now and actually. No, we're gonna add a new broadcast listener in here, And this is listening for NPC target on signal received. Is the look at target. So now it's going to go out. And why is he not turning? He should be automatically. I think something in the logic here. This is why I kind of didn't want to use a reusable, because now I got to figure out how this logic works to figure out how I can bypass it. Because like, whereas this is sending its target to multiple places. How much time? Oh, just a few minutes left. So where is this thing getting targets from? It's only getting targets from there and there. And then what's the enabled, disabled? I think I'm just going to have this always be enabled, and this thing, I'm just going to see what happens if we turn that off. Okay, still not doing it. Why no doing it? I did not know that, Liam. That's sad news. But yeah, I've kind of painted myself in a corner here because there's so much extra logic here. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna delete all this crap. Maybe leave the stabilizer for now. These two, gonna delete those. What is this one? This is the movement force. So let's just have that be enabled. Right, so now the guy is all, and that, nice, losing the target. Oh, I know. No, we did send this. Send in the target, look at target, and this is sending the target through the broadcaster. NPC target is the signal. Let's get rid of this one. Just getting rid of everything here. What does this one do? This is... What is that force doing? Anyway. Yeah, for some reason it's not getting the target properly. This is shooting out. It should be sending the target through here. Let's just do this again. On collision start, target. Also execute. Yes. NPC. On signal received. Look at target. That was set up right. So what have I messed up here? I messed it up somehow. And now I'm like really out of time. I'm getting rid of everything in here that I'm not using. Whoops. So we're getting the spawner. We have movement. This is part of the, yeah. Okay, interesting. Huh. let's see. That's red, yes. Because this definitely, this like just starting to go in an endless circle. I know from previous experience, this is the result of the look at not having a target, like getting a bad target from a signal. But I'm confused as to why it would not be getting the right target. It should be getting the right target. And now I'm out of time. So that was kind of a bust. I feel bad about that. Because from my understanding, this should be working. We've removed everything. What's in here? Is anything in here that's messing with that? Shouldn't be? No? Hmm. Okay. Well, I think I'm going to have to ask somebody what I've done wrong here. Unless one of the big brains in the chat sees what I've done wrong and can help me out in that regard. What if this is not enabled until it gets a target? Oh, that's not. We don't want to execute. We want activation enabled on. But that wasn't the problem. Yeah, now it's not doing anything. So this is not working for some reason. It's the right signal. Ryan PH says, what's it supposed to do? So what it should be doing is targeting the closest enemy when it gets that signal. Like, so the first time that big circle comes out, it should be targeting the closest enemy. Let's make this a different color so we can see it more easily. It's like, boom. Like, so right there, he should be getting, I assume, like this zombie as the target to the look at. But it is not happening that way. Is this is in the container? Yes, this is in the container. These are both in the container. Those are both working anyway. All of that is working. I'm setting the broadcaster target instead of sending the value through. So from here, on collision. Oh, God, you're right. I'm so dumb. Execute with data, not target. Thank you. There he goes. Now he's going to go to the closest enemy. Presumably then he would like kill that enemy. Let's just add that super basic. We'll put in here a collision trigger, red, and then we'll add a destroyer. And so this collision trigger on collision start will now target that to the destroyer. So now this guy should go, boom, kills that one, finds the next one, boom, does it again, boom. There we go. An NPC that can target enemies. Thank you, Yelp. Oh, I hate it when I do that. But yeah, so we went a little bit over because I made a stupid error, and so now we're going to... Oh, I have certainly wasted an hour or two troubleshooting a stupid mistake like that. Has 100% happened before and probably will happen again. But yeah, so thank you everybody for coming and hanging out, for chit-chatting with me while I stumbled my way through the stream today. The plan did not really work out as intended, but we still had a good time, I hope. Talked about some interesting stuff. And hopefully maybe somebody learned something from this little demonstration, even though you kind of have to watch the beginning part of it and then skip through to the part where I realize what I did wrong. But until next time, I've been Shogun. This has been the HypeHype Live. You can catch me here next Thursday, same time, same channels, probably maybe showing you the next update next week. Fingers crossed. Things go a little bit better than they did this week. Of course, until then, you can find me in the app at Shogun, and you can find all of these wonderful people who've been chatting and hanging out during the chat. You can also find in the app, and I think many of them also on the Discord. If you're not on the HypeHype Discord, it is a great place to go to get help and meet other hype creators. And that's going to do it for the stream today. Thanks once again, everybody, for hanging out. I hope you have an awesome rest of your Thursday and a great Friday and weekend. Until next time, peace.
Save the forests by making games. Games for Forests Jam. From March 6th to April 6th, make a game without coding, even with your phone, and win prizes.